Hey everyone, I hope you all are doing really well. Thank you all so much for coming to this video. I'm going to explain a little bit about, well, kind of what the case is about. This is the Gone Girl case, or also known as American Nightmare, that aired on Netflix. This is the case of Denise Huskins and Aaron Quinn. They're the ones who were known to be the kidnapping hoaxers in Vallejo, California. I do have a couple of problems with the Netflix documentary, but we'll get to that here a little later on. I do want to start off by saying, clearly I've been kicked out of my house, and now I'm living in this dingy, old, abandoned home. So, yeah, homeless, and no, I'm kidding, guys. It's a green screen. I had to move the studio from downstairs to upstairs, and we're making the downstairs into a lovely kids' room. Behind this green screen, this is temporary. Behind it, I'm going to paint the wall either like a dark purple or dark red or maybe a black. Hang some stuff up, have some cool posters and stuff. Make a set. Yeah, I hope it'll look really cool and really good. Hopefully I can get this microphone out from in front of me and maybe have like a boom mic or something here soon too. And just try to make this look as good as possible. I'm trying to up the quality of this channel. Thank you all very much for being patient with me here. And also, I did want to make one more announcement about another channel. Sinister Shaft, she's back. I'm a big fan of that channel. I just wanted to let you guys know. You guys should go check her out. I'll link her channel in the description below. She just made a new video, and hopefully she sticks around for good this time and consistently makes videos because they're awesome. And I think if you all want to get creeped out, that's the channel for you. Oh, before I get into American Nightmare, guys, please like, subscribe, and share, and comment and stuff. It helps out a lot. Just wanted to get that out there. So thank you all. That's all I want to ask for. Let's get into this, guys. I hope you all are doing well, and I really hope you guys are fixing to have a good Valentine's Day. I think this video will drop around Valentine's Day. And this, video is kind of like a Valentine's video, sort of. Now, I'm sure you all have heard of this case. I mean, it's exploding on Netflix. It's, I think I mentioned it, American Nightmare. I actually have a couple of issues the way this documentary was presented, obviously. Most of the criticisms I'm going to save for the end, but I have to address one right now. American Nightmare is a documentary telling the story of the Gone Girl case. Denise Huskins and Aaron Quinn were victims to a home invasion and the kidnapping of Denise, which originally police dismissed as a hoax. Well, I'm here to say, at the beginning of this video, this was not a hoax. The man that committed the crime, Matthew Mueller, has been arrested, charged, and found guilty from not just this home invasion, but many home invasions, kidnappings, and forcing of unspeakable things onto several women, of course, including Denise Huskins. Now, I do not like to leave the audience guessing or encouraging people to demonize victims until the very end for clicks. That's a huge issue I had with this documentary, but like I said, we'll get into more detail at the end. First, let's dive into the facts of the case and retell the story of the Gone Girl hoax. On March 23rd, 2015, Huskins was kidnapped by a masked intruder who broke into the home in Vallejo, a city in the San Francisco Bay Area. Her boyfriend, Aaron Quinn, told detectives he woke up to a bright strobing light on his face, as well as a laser coming from what looked like a taser. He saw what looked to be 3 intruders, one of them demanding he turn over onto his stomach, ingest a sedative, blindfolding him with blacked out swimming goggles, and putting headphones on him that played a calming wind chime type of sound or music, then tied him to the bed before forcefully taking Huskins in the middle of the night. Quinn also said the kidnappers were demanding a $15,000 ransom. After the kidnapper left with Denise, and I say kidnapper for singular reason, we'll get into that soon, Aaron was told he was being watched. They had placed a camera in his bedroom, and that they would harm Denise if he left the room or was seen on his phone. As he started texting the kidnapper about the ransom, the kidnapper ended up not texting Aaron back after a few exchanges, to which Aaron finally called police. After recounting this, hearing how calm Aaron was, and stating the ridiculously low ransom demand, you could see why police would not believe this, of course. And as an officer, you're allowed to be skeptical and not believe. That being said, your job still requires you to investigate and try to find the truth. I think we can all agree on that. People are always, officers are people. They're allowed to have their own opinions. However, the way this case was handled by the officers was nothing short of embarrassing and neglectful. Detective Matt Mustard was the officer to interview Aaron Quinn. This video should give you a good indicator of how that went.
Back me up to last night. Denise came over around 6. We brought pizza over for dinner.
Is the intoxication level high? Is it low?
I mean, we had 4 beers and a cocktail.
What's the conversation?
Our conversation.
What's the topic of conversation?
Was something her and I have had, because I also work with my ex-fiance, Andrea. We had some issues with that. Got any kind of trouble or anything like that?
This is about Aaron, and we're trying to get an understanding about Aaron. I understand you guys had a past relationship.
We broke up.
Good terms, bad terms, somewhere in the middle.
Very bad terms. I mean, we get along okay at work. It's been sad, but I asked him to stop coming into my office. I mean, he would want to hug me, and, sometimes he would try to kiss me, but I just didn't know it was okay. I mean, he knew it.
Is he still trying to get back together with you?
I think he would be open to the idea.
Where was Denise as it related to this?
She wanted communication to what needs to be for work. Because I had been talking to my ex at the time, even when I was still dating Denise.
I have a picture of a woman. If you tell me if you recognize her.
Her name's Denise.
She works in the same unit as you?
Yeah. I would say hi to her, and then she would pretend I wasn't there. Nothing like big. That was kind of my first indicator that they might be dating.
Denise, did she have reason? I mean, did she discover something?
John text messages.
What did it say?
Saying I still cared about Andrea and I wanted to work things through with her.
So she thought that you were going to get back with Andrea.
She was concerned about that.
Was she mad?
I mean, she's...
Was she cheating?
No, well, she felt that it was emotionally, so...
She felt that what?
Emotionally, that was cheating in some sense.
Did you truly love Denise?
I do love Denise.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be completely square with you. Your story's very elaborate and in some ways far-fetched in my mind.
Trust me, I know.
Listen. I'm here to find the truth. I have a puzzle here. And I put a lot of puzzles together. I don't think she was kidnapped from your home.
What do you think?
I think something bad happened in your house. And I think it happened between you and her.
No. Oh, no.
I think that people kidnap people for
I don't know.
They don't.
I know. I've been...
They don't. And they're wearing, did they swim in wearing their wetsuits? I mean, come on, man. It doesn't make any freaking sense. So now I get out my puzzle pieces and I start figuring out, okay, how do I make it so you look like a monster? Do you know that the comforter's missing off your bed?
What the police officer told me.
Blankets are missing?
Yes.
Why do you take the blanket and comforter off your bed? As the frog man, why do you do that?
Take the body I'm seeing. That's where it came out.
So it's obvious to me whatever happened in that bedroom. Maybe she overdoses. Are you playing with prescription drugs from work?
No.
It's okay if you are.
I'm not.
And if we take too much and now she overdoses, you're like, oh shit, what am I going to do? I can see that happening too.
That didn't happen.
There's blood in your house.
There's blood?
Yeah. I don't know if it's hers or not yet. I'm going to presume it's hers. I'm going to presume that she wasn't alive and kicking when she left the house. I don't know, maybe you call Andrea's name out in sex.
Oh.
And she got pissed. And you carted her ass out of there, and you dripped her blood going down the stairs.
I did not do that.
Yeah, you did. They did not come into your house and kidnap her and take her for ransom. That did not happen. You sat for hours and hours and hours and hours trying to figure out, oh my God, what am I going to do? But the longer she stays wherever she is and she begins to rot, the more of a monster you look like. Tell me the truth about what the hell happened.
I didn't do anything. I didn't. So what's the next stage here?
Give me a minute. Let me think about it.
That's right here. All right, Aaron, there's no question in my mind that you failed this test. She's gone, and you know she's gone. Yes, she's gone. You're going to lose the respect of your family. You're going to destroy them because they're going to defend you, and everything that they've worked hard for will get flushed down the toilet.
You can see how the police were quick to create a narrative, with absolutely no evidence that Denise was alive or not. The fact that they assumed she was gone, and were not actively looking for a live person, could have easily been the end of her. This case was botched in so many ways. Though there is a definite light at the end of the tunnel, it's inexcusable for police to ever act this way. I understand that being told that they were arguing a bit from the night before about Aaron's ex, who cheated on him, were texting and possibly trying to get back together, which in turn makes it kinda Aaron cheating on Denise. But Aaron later admitted that he would try to work things out with Denise, and they made up over pizza that night. Whether the officers were going to believe that story or not is totally up to them. I could understand them not wanting to believe that. Though being suspicious is still not enough evidence for wrongdoing. Aaron's ex will later come into play in Denise's retelling of events, by the way, so stay tuned for that. Aaron was subjected to a polygraph, aka a lie detector test, which are not submissible in the courts due to how unreliable they are. Now, a lot of people like to say the FBI agent lied by saying Aaron failed miserably. However, I do want to point out that that's not quite the case. After the test, the agent stated, "There is no question in my mind that you miserably failed this test." That is an exact quote. It's not a lie if he didn't read the test results and didn't question that he failed. I mean, if he's like, "There's no question in my mind that you failed this test," but you didn't look at the test results, that's just your opinion, right? So it's a slimy tactic, but technically not a lie, even though technically speaking, the police can lie directly to your face. I know a lot of people say they can't. I don't know why they say they can't. There is no explicit law on that. It's scummy. It's slimy. I think people like to put police on a pedestal and assume that they're going to do the best, which they should. That doesn't mean they actually have to. So just keep that in mind, okay? The police are not your friends when they are interrogating you. And I am not by any means anti-cop, and I'm not by any means so pro-cop that I'm willing to look past corruption. That's not my position. I think there are good cops and there are bad cops. I think it's very simple for a bad guy to become a cop, and I think it's very simple for a good guy to become a good cop and just do that. Things aren't as black and white as a lot of people would like to believe. So anyway, the test did come back as inconclusive. I can definitely understand Aaron's anger over that, and I can understand Aaron being upset that he felt lied to, because in his mind, all the officer had to do, or the FBI agent, had to just read the test results and he would have known. He didn't have to put on a show, but they were trying to get a confession to something without any evidence that it actually happened. Very silly thing to do. 2 days later, Denise would show up at her father's apartment in Huntington Beach, where she was dropped off by her kidnapper. Video shows her calmly walking to her house, which was also suspicious to police, and I can understand that. As Denise gets to her house, her father is not there, but luckily she had a neighbor who recognized her and knew what was going on and allowed her inside. Police showed up to the house and started interviewing Denise. Police first asked her if she was, well, for YouTube purposes, assaulted. I can't say that word on YouTube. They will not let me. I'm sorry, guys. But I'm sure you know what assaulted means, you know? And she told them no. The reasoning for this would be revealed in a later interview by police. That her kidnapper made it sound as if he was working with a powerful trafficking organization, and they would be watching her at all times. If she goes to police and tells them everything, they would come after her and her family. She does tell the police in this first interview that she is scared, that he did threaten her and her family, and that she feels she cannot tell the police everything. Police then offer her immunity if she tells the truth, implying that they will arrest her. They're essentially saying, hey, if you tell us the truth, you can have immunity and we won't go any further with charges against you. Yeah, you can imagine how she felt about that. And clearly implying that she is lying Just not a good look for these police officers. I do also want to add that this will be an important detail, that when she was being kidnapped, she was put in the trunk of a vehicle that sounded familiar to her, a newer model Mustang. Another detail she admits to is that the kidnapper stated that Andrea, Aaron's ex, was the actual target. He did not mean to kidnap Denise. Police then immediately hold a press conference saying that Denise has brought fear into the community and plundered valuable resources, turning the narrative to a hoax. Not to mention, mainstream media outlets ran with this as a fact. Police and the media compared this whole incident to a movie that had just come out by the name of Gone Girl, a movie about a woman who finds out her man is cheating on her, fakes her own kidnapping in order to frame him for murder for her own revenge. Now, what's very strange is the kidnapper actually sent police an email showing a picture of a small black, what appeared to be a gun, with a laser duct taped to it, demanding police believe Denise. Of course, this made police even more suspicious of the couple. That one I cannot blame police for at all. That's just very weird. I don't know of any kidnapper out there that would have ever thought to be like, no, you must believe the victim, when they're trying to get away with it. Now, after getting an attorney, he convinces Denise to get an exam and lets her know that she should not allow the kidnappers to have power over her. She then gives the police a second interview, which I will show you in this video here.
The goal when this thing started was to see you come home safe. And I'm glad that you survived this incident. And ultimately what we're chasing is the truth.
I woke to flashing light, kind of like a strobe light. There's the red laser pointer, and the recording was this calm music. He is a war vet. He has PTSD. He has insomnia. I remember going right and left. Videotape having sex with you. And this videotape is to prevent you from going to the police. He said we had to do it again. It had to be believable, like we were a couple. And I played along, so I didn't know what else to do. And I didn't want to do it again.
Have you ever been in the trunk of that car before? Did you make any noise?
No, I was woken from a dead sleep.
Alright, let's take a few minutes. Alright. Alright, just hang in there, okay? You're doing great.
Now, I'm sorry if I mispronounced this name, but Sergeant Misty Karasu, I'm sorry, of Dublin PD is literally the savior of this case. Without her, this never would have been solved. She is the prime example of how an officer should be handling cases. Not to mention, this was her very first case as a detective, just to make it all that much more impressive. She managed to solve the case when a 911 call came through about a break-in and attempted kidnapping of a 22-year-old girl living with her parents in Dublin, California. The kidnapper was unsuccessful and got away. However, the unique way he did his kidnappings became noticed. The family told the exact same story as Denise and Aaron. However, the father fought back and saved his daughter from the kidnapper. The goggles, the laser, the sedative, the strobing light, and multiple people standing in the room, everything was the same. Though the most crucial mistake made is he dropped his phone and left it behind in the house. Police then traced it back to Matthew Muller and arrested him at his home. In his home, they found the sedative in a NyQuil bottle, zip ties, the blacked out goggles, which had a blonde hair strand stuck to it, duct tape, toy guns painted with a laser attached. Police immediately recognized it as the same one in the pictures sent by the kidnapper. There was one room with the windows covered and a bed. Police also found a stolen vehicle with Matthew Muller's ID inside, a white Mustang. Told you that Mustang would come back. A quick look on Matthew's GPS entries on his phone showed many different addresses he was visiting, two of them being Denise and Aaron's place and Denise's parents' home. He also used these blow-up dummies in the trunk of his car to prop up at the end of their beds with the strobing lights to make it look like there were multiple people involved. Matthew Moeller had many different incidents that were reported to police. However, the Vallejo PD decided it was not worth their time. Once he was caught peeping on people's homes, near Denise and Aaron actually, and was busted by neighbors and followed him back to his house, police took that information and just sat on it. In Palo Alto, California, an officer was working hard for years to bust Matthew, knowing he committed a assault on a woman, but he could not get enough proof that Matthew did it, though he was working very hard on this case. That's not that officer's fault. He did do his due diligence and was trying to bust Matthew and just was not able to be in the right place at the right time. Had Vallejo PD actually done their due diligence, researching other nearby areas for similar incidents, they would have caught Matthew before he had assaulted Denise for the second time in his home. Instead, they were lazy and dismissive. Matthew was ex-military and a lawyer that graduated from Harvard University. He was incredibly intelligent and clearly knew how to commit such an outrageous crime. Matthew Moeller is now serving 40 years for his crimes, while Denise and Aaron successfully sued the PD for defamation, being awarded $2.5 million, which in my opinion was not enough. Andrew Badu, the police chief, was accused of telling his officers by an anonymous source to burn that BITCH during the press conference, which Badu denies. So I don't have any evidence for it. It's a weird anonymous source, could be anybody, but I believe it, just saying. Detective Matt Mustard was awarded Officer of the Year for 2015, the year of Denise's kidnapping. Every officer involved in Vallejo PD that was involved with this case should be stripped of their ranks and rewards and heavily punished for what they did. It's okay to not believe a victim. It's okay to hold your own opinions. However, it is your job to investigate no matter how insane the story sounds. They failed to investigate. They failed to do their job. They failed their duty as officers and were rewarded. That just blows my mind. Now, as for my issues with the documentary, I understand people enjoy a twist ending. However, it felt as if the people who worked on the documentary wanted us to feel that Aaron and Denise were lying until the very end. How many people made it to the end of episode 2, which there are only 3 episodes of, and decided to turn it off? Because I almost did, until my wife begged me to watch the final episode with her. I had enough. I was like, these people are full of it. This is just a documentary of these fraudsters trying to clear their name. I'm not interested. Then I watched to the end and I was like, oh my God, whoever was directing this or whoever was writing it, I don't know who. It's not Denise and Aaron's fault. Whoever was doing this documentary did them a disservice, in my opinion. The vast majority of this documentary made it feel like, they made it feel like the case was never resolved. Not to mention, it feels like the people who worked on this documentary had Aaron and Denise follow a script and make several takes to almost imply they were lying. Now, I don't know for sure that this is actually what happened, and I would not think Denise and Aaron at all would have been privy to the documentary staff doing that to them, but it really comes off that way. I already see on Reddit and Facebook people arguing and stating that they turned off the show early because they couldn't listen to any more. And I was in that boat for a bit. And of course, people responding, telling them to watch the whole thing. It just makes a ton of conflict. It's not necessary. All they had to do was say at the beginning, this is the story of how a supposed hoax kidnapping turned out to be true, with the criminal ending up behind bars. That's all that was needed, just like how I started this video. Seriously, thank you all so much for watching. And remember to stay safe, be aware, and protect yourselves.